One thing I did forget to mention is that I actually finally got to drink that bottle of Bollinger. I got frustrated one day and just thought, this is ridiculous, that cork must come out. So what I did was I gave it another go and I got nowhere. Put it back in the fridge and I said, no, I'll give it one more try. And I did, and I twiddled it a few times and finally it gave. And it didn't actually come flying out or anything, it was just fairly sedate. But yeah, I got it open and then I consumed it. And to be honest, I was a bit underwhelmed. Maybe I'd had high expectations, but it was nothing special, and I don't know whether it's really worth spending that extra money on these premium champagnes. So I also consumed the whole bottle, but it didn't have that big an effect upon me. So I got about four or five flutes out of it, I think. They're only small flute that I had glass, and yeah, you know, I don't think I'd bother again. I think it got out of my system. I've had a couple of bottles of the stuff over the years and that'll do me. I've certainly tasted a lot cheaper wines that have tasted pretty good in my opinion. So I'm not much of a wine snob really. I'm a bit particular about my scotch. But when it comes to wines and even gin, you know, not too bad. So that was a bit of an eye-opener. But glad I got out of my system. It's a pity I didn't get to share it with my friend when she came over. But I did give it a good try, and I just thought it was a lost cause. And also we had to go somewhere, so I felt a bit of time pressure there. So it's a bit of a pity. I'd rather share it. Wait for the 111, and it's a weird thing. I had this feeling, I had a premonition he was going to ask for money for the bus, and yes he did. Which is really weird. I don't know why I thought that, but I was dead right, and that's one of the joys of Cairns, I guess. After 3 o'clock on Tuesday, I'm going to try to squeeze a bit more value out of my bus ticket and get a trip up to the local shops. 20-minute walk, only take a couple of minutes by bus. And the trouble is I'm not sure exactly when the bus is going to come by, because it could be the school bus, which means it'll be held up. So it's just an act of faith. It's supposed to be at the terminus at 3:20, but because it's a school bus, I doubt whether it's probably going to come on time, but I might get another bus that's running late. That's why I'm leaving pretty early, just about, it's not even 3:05, so I'm really not 100% sure when the damn thing's going to turn up. I think they do add another bus down on the 111 in the afternoon because there's obviously extra demand. But again, it can take a long time to get those school kids on the bus. Anyway, I'll go up here, wait around for a while, and if I'm lucky, I might get myself a bus up to the shops. And if I'm really lucky, they might just wait around long enough for me to catch the bus back again. But if they don't do that, at least I'm getting the bus one way, which will mean it's only 20 minutes of walking rather than 40. So it's not bad. But again, this could be a waste of time. There may not be any buses coming down here for a long time. So we'll see. Oh, it's very humid. Well, it's about 3:08. According to the timetable, there's supposed to be a bus here about 17 past. So I find sometimes they'll turn up early, but probably today at this time of the day because of the school demand. I doubt whether they'll get there any earlier, but you just never know. Yeah, looking forward to having another G&T. I got almost a full lot last night. I only had a little bit of the bottle, but I didn't go through too much. Of course, it's going up in price, like everything. One thing they say that may happen is that that they might, we might find we're at the peak of our inflation, in which case the interest rates might be just going up once more after the last one on Tuesday, 25 basis points. So we might just have another 25 basis points, and that might keep it pretty steady. So we'll see, because it does take value out of your income. And I've taken the double hit with those dud shares, although they acted a bit better today. But you get a bit pissed off when your shares hit an all-time low, because you look at the charts and you look at them over a number of years. And Elders, the rural company, they'd never dropped below $10. That was their rock bottom. Now they're struggling to hold on to $9. So the ASX actually sent them a letter because they thought it was pretty strange too, and they were wondering whether Elders were holding out with market information they weren't distributing to the shareholders. So it's one of the rare occasions they're proactive on the ASX. Generally, they don't seem to care much about people getting screwed, from what I can see. That's one area where we could do with more government interference. One of those rare occasions where I think they could do more than what they've been doing. But anyway, it could be worse. Like I say, I'm going to even look at the likes of Qantas for flights, because the Jetstar and say Vietjet, which used to be very cheap carriers, are now getting closer to what the cost of full service carriers are. So it can't hurt to have a look. You never know, Qantas might have a sale on. So it's worth checking out, always worth checking out the options anyway. But I don't like my chances. I'm going to even check Singapore Airlines out, although it's a drag having to, well, mind you, they can fly from here directly to Singapore, so it's still only two flights to Saigon if I do that, so that's not so bad. It's just you want to avoid staying in Singapore, because it's such an expensive city. Even a night's accommodation could really hurt. Airbnb is probably your best bet, but even then, you know, Airbnb's got its own issues. It's not as good as staying in a hotel, in my opinion. You can get better value, but sometimes you've got to jump through a few hoops to get that value, and you're not dealing with professionals. These people are hosts. They're not in the accommodation industry mainstream. Yeah, it's a pretty basic bus stop here. They've done what they had to do for wheelchair access, but you think they could put a couple of plastic seats down on that concrete there, just to provide people with somewhere they could just sit comfortably waiting. There's no cover, so that's at least the bare essentials, you think, because I bet you it costs them a lot more to do this concreting because of the disabled type push that they've had. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody in a wheelchair get on a bus here, to be quite frank. So there's a lot of money being spent on that infrastructure, and I just don't think it's being used. They would have been better off probably just providing people with that sort of access, some sort of subsidies to go in their taxis or something, rather than do all the infrastructure for public transport. I mean, if you're in that position, I'd say you'd probably rather get a private car rather than go on bus anyway. So, but governments don't always think about it in a logical way like that, because I'm telling you, they must have spent a lot of money on making lots of these places with wheelchair access, you know, for public transport. Oh, just my thought anyway. Oh, one other thing I found out too, was a bit surprised, is that the pineapple plants only provide you with one pineapple. I thought they'd be like other fruiting plants where you get a number of fruit from the one plant, but apparently not in the case of pineapples. So I might try to propagate the one that I've actually got, just cut the head off, and you're supposed to dry it out apparently for a little while, and then put it in well-drained soil, and it will grow. So I might do that. New bus company has totally confused me. Don't you love their minimalist timetable? Just wonderful. The information dazzles me. And of course you've got to have a mobile phone with a Wi-Fi connection to find out when the next bus is going. Now what I'm confused about is that bus just stopped there on that side of the road, which is convenient for me to go to Liquor Land, but normally they go on this roundabout here, go around the roundabout and come and park here at the actual stop. And it didn't do it this time, so I think that might have been a special bus coming early, even though, so it came at 20 past, which isn't early anyway, it's actually late, but to be expected with the school buses. So I think the normal bus is probably running really late, and here it is. There you go, that's what's happened. Now this is the normal bus. This one will go right across here, then go into the roundabout, do a turn around and come back here, and I can sit on this bus to come home. If it is the, oh no, it's not. It's a private bus. So much for that theory. Okay. Well, it sounded like a good theory, but total crap apparently. That's actually a bus driver in that little Kinetic car, and they're just waiting to change shifts with the driver here, because they do that quite a bit. So that's a possibility. What I want to avoid is me walking back in this heat and then having a bus pass by me after I'm about halfway mark or something like that, or a third along the route. I find out I could have just got a free ride back close to home, because like I say, it is pretty humid. Didn't check the humidity level, but I'm guessing it's at least 70%. But I know what'll happen. As soon as I start walking, the bus will go straight past me and I'll be kicking myself because I didn't take advantage of another free ride on my daily ticket. But gee, it is late though. God, this is ridiculous. Now the woman came back to her car yakking on the phone, but she saw me leaving the stop, didn't do anything. So if she was a bus driver and the bus was due to come any moment, you think she'd say something, but nah. So then again, maybe they just don't give us stuff. That's highly likely too. What they are big on in Kinetic is that they love their inspectors. They have them everywhere. I've had a couple of times where they've checked up on tickets. They're a bit more conscientious than Sunbus on that. So I think I copped two of them in 2 days, which is a bit of a pain. So anyway, I got to use my daily ticket once more, so that's good. I'm not dying yet. I'll have a cold drink when I get home, so I'll revive. And I might think about lopping the top off that pineapple and see if I can plant the bloody thing. Because I'm a bit disappointed just getting one lousy small pineapple out of that whole plant. I mean, it was, online they said that it made it sound like a plant can produce another pineapple, but they're not fast growing. You'd have to do a whole grove of them to make it worthwhile. Because summer sun up here is pretty brutal. And I've also got that bung foot, but extra walking doesn't really seem to be doing any damage anyway, so it might be good for it. I mean, I'm not in any great pain, but Steve was saying if you've got gout, you know it. It's very painful. So it's definitely not gout, I would think. Although I could go to the GP and have them check it, I suppose. Maybe I will if it just keeps persisting, because it's going to make an overseas trip a bit of a downer. It's nice to walk in a foreign city. Mind you, I don't even know if I'll be able to afford to fly to a foreign city the way the airfares are, so I've still got to do all that extra research, see what the major airlines are charging, and I may be surprised. There might be a special on. One of the nurses at the hospital told me that she booked a flight back to England quite cheaply, and I think it was with a major airline. It's just, you just got to be at the right place at the right time. And time is something I do have on my side during the day. Still no sign of a bus. Well, I'm approaching the halfway point, so I don't know. It is during the school pickups, the bus service does tend to buckle a bit. And maybe that woman was there because there's a major problem, but she didn't bother telling anybody waiting. I was the only person waiting at the stop. Didn't tell me a damn thing, so I don't think bus companies are noted for their sparkling customer service. If I do see a bus come around just around this time, I might just wait at the next stop because it's pretty close to here. There aren't that many stops. The next one's actually in Gannett Street. Strange not to see a bus down the road. Very strange. There it is. Boy, is it running late. I think that was the bus, I couldn't tell. Now here's the bus stop here. I don't think it's even worth getting on the bloody thing, to be honest with you. Now we're pretty close. Got 4 blocks and I'll be back into Bondi Crescent. I haven't seen the 111 come by, so I'm going into Bondi Crescent, noisy Bondi Crescent, and like I say, no sign of the bus going down Gannett Street. No, it's just a car. There you go, I've definitely beaten the bus. Once I get to the top Bondi Crescent, it's about a 5-minute walk. So even if I got the bus, wouldn't have saved any time. Just some body fluids. But I'll feel much better for it when I get home. I wouldn't want to be doing physical work like that in this weather. I don't know how people do it, especially young, you're fit. Not me, buddy. Never seen a snake, but I've seen stacks of skinks everywhere. There was one in the bathroom yesterday. So I took a shower, didn't even notice it. It was up in the top corner. Only noticed it when I got out of the shower. I mean, they're harmless. In a way, they do good because they eat insects. As long as they don't crap everywhere, I'm happy about it. Whew. Not so many dogs. Maybe the dogs are stuffed with the weather too. Oh yeah, it's warm. About midway through next month, we may have a bit of a change. I'll say one thing I want to give up is having my aircon on before I go to bed. Now it's become it's not a luxury anymore, it's a necessity. I got my power bill, and funnily enough, it was a couple of dollars less than the previous one, so I'm obviously not using up that much juice during summer, which is good. So I don't even make triple figures, so I'm pretty conservative with use of electricity. The computer's on all the time, and my big Samsung high def TV's on about 2 hours a night, so where I'm attempting to watch program using my memory stick, but Samsung's software is so pathetic that if you do anything like stop watching a particular program, it'll bump you to broadcast TV. It's bloody annoying, because I guess for them it's an afterthought, but it's my primary source of information, entertainment on the TV is via a memory stick. So if there is there might be a software upgrade. I suppose I should look it up, because it is damn annoying. But it makes me wary of buying Samsung in the future, to be honest with you. The picture quality is fantastic, got no problem there. But, you know, it's a whole package when you buy something like that. The sound could be a lot better. So, it isn't the top of the range. So it doesn't have all the bells and whistles. But I'd be looking at an alternative. I wouldn't buy any of the cheap Chinese crap. I'd be looking for something reasonable, but maybe something apart from Samsung. We'll see what's around. But look, I think I'm stuck with that TV. Probably until they bury me, I think, or cremate me more. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment, or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great.